Life-changing. I've got a new study for you talking about fatty liver disease in conjunction with GLP-1 medication. Hi friends, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I have lost over 90 pounds now with using GLP-1 medication for the last 17 full months. And here at Countess of Shopping Community, I love to encourage and use scientific sources to help educate as well. Talking about GLP-1 medications, for me it has been life-changing as being one of the air quote guinea pigs back as an early adopter on Mounjaro many months ago. Because of the Mounjaro shortage, moved to ZEPBOUND. Because of the ZEPBOUND shortage, now I'm on the compound tirzepatide. But my heart's desire is to go back over to brand name at some point. Let's go ahead and dive into this study. I, of course, will always cite my sources down below in the description link. Just click that ... more button here on YouTube so you can see, you can check and cite my sources because I do require to be factually accurate. But a new study just came out June 7th, 2024, and the New England, I'll make sure I'm citing my source, the New England Journal of Medicine, of phase 2 randomized trial of survodutide in MASH and fibrosis. And the results of this were coming back about this experimental GLP-1 medication. So it's a new one. Usually we talk, and I always pull out my dinosaurs. I pull out my different dinosaurs to show you guys the different medications that there are. So this is a different one that we normally talk about. This is semaglutide usually when we talk about GLP-1 medications, which would be Ozempic and Wegovy. Then we go up slightly higher in data to my dinosaur that's missing its head, which is tirzepatide, which would be our Mounjaro and ZEPBOUND. And then there's a new one on the block that's still in clinical trials that is kind of like the Godzilla of them is retatrutide. This is a new one, different one than we've ever talked about. I'm going to pull out my son's Transformers, Robots in Disguise, as our new guy that we're talking about as a part of this study. And it was basically from the study with the new supercharged form of a GLP-1 medication, survodutide. It's a drug under development. Basically what was found was this experimental drug was supercharged to form of a popular GLP-1 weight loss medication to help ease fatty liver disease in a new trial. So this is a trial still, just to make sure we're clear. I always like to make sure we have our apples and our oranges separated. This is a new trial. The drug under development, survodutide, helps 83% of patients gain real improvements in markers of fatty liver disease, a widespread and potentially lethal combination often linked to obesity. Hello, as somebody who's lost 90 pounds on my 100-pound weight loss journey, like, I get it. I get all these comorbidities that go along with obesity. And I was morbidly obese. Now I'm just technically overweight. This is, by the way, from the BMI chart, this is overweight, which drives me nuts about the BMI chart, but I digress. Let's go back to the article. Right now, there is only one drug, resmetitrium. I'll post the article down below so you guys can see the exact spelling of all these. That is approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to fight fatty liver disease. And not all patients can actually use it. Survodutide could be a game changer against the illness, and that was quoted from the lead researcher, Dr. Aran Sanyal. He directs Stravitz Sanyal Institute for Liver Disease and Metabolic Health, and is a professor at VCU here in Richmond, Virginia. I'm in Virginia. Woohoo! So we love Virginia Commonwealth University. The trial was funded by Boehringer Ingelheim, a drug company. So this is a different drug company. The drug company who make Eli Lilly makes Mounjaro and also makes ZEPBOUND is Eli Lilly. The drug manufacturer who makes Wegovy and Ozempic is Novo Nordisk. This is a different one. This is our different one. This is, we're going to use our Transformer one. It's going to be, again, that company is Boehringer Ingelheim, and they're developing survodutide. And this was published, again, June 7th in the New England Journal of Medicine. Fatty liver disease is shorthand for metabolic dysfunction associated, you guys can tell I'm not a healthcare provider, it's MASH, M-A-S-H. According to a new release from VCU, about 1 in every 4 people, 25%, are globally affected by the condition, MASH. A healthy liver has a fat content of 5% or less, by weight. But in MASH, fat can rise in unhealthy levels that can put people at risk for liver cancer or even need a liver transplant. Obesity is a prime factor for driving fatty liver disease, which would clock, right? The new trial isn't the first to suggest GLP-1 drugs. That class came in Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, ZEPBOUND, might help ease MASH. So what this is saying is people who, like myself, was on Mounjaro, now on ZEPBOUND, now on compounds. So the tirzepatide, or if you're on Wegovy or Ozempic, semaglutide, you may be seeing this too with fatty liver disease, and which is why it's always so important. I'm not a healthcare provider. Always talk to your own healthcare provider, and getting up-to-date blood work for yourself, super important. If you need a healthcare provider, I strongly recommend Join Fridays. They are, in my humble opinion, the best in telehealth for chronic obesity management. Use the discount code QUEEN and the link in the description link below. If you're looking for a telehealth company, they do brand names, but they also do compounds, which is why I've been able to navigate during the Mounjaro shortage and the ZEPBOUND shortage to a compound so easily. Once the shortage is over, I'll switch back over to brand name. But being on their compound, and they have reputable compound pharmacies they work with. So let's go back over another study also led by Sanyal, the first one was, and funded by drug maker Eli Lilly, found an experimental GLP-1 drug, retatrutide, also helped to reduce fat and livers of obese people who took it. This one is the beast. This one will not be out for probably 2 years, maybe more. That study was presented last November at the annual American Association for the Study of Liver Diseases in Boston. Dr. Sanyal is here in Virginia. I totally want to go to Richmond, Virginia and interview Dr. Sanyal. Sounds amazing. But let's go back over. So our survodutide trial, this one, our transformer, involved 282 adults from 25 countries all of who had MASH with some levels of fibrosis, meaning scarring, of the liver tissue. Patients received weekly injections of either a placebo or one of 3 doses of this survodutide, 2.4 milligrams, 4.8 milligrams, or 6 milligrams for 24 weeks. The weekly dosage gradually increased to 6 milligrams for another 24 weeks. And by the 48-week mark, most, 83% of patients, saw improvements in a host of markers for fatty liver, meaning lower levels of liver fat, inflammation, and no worsening of fibrosis, said Sanyal's team reported. For the 3/4 of patients, their fatty liver disease had resolved, meaning there was less fibrosis, inflammation, and fat in the liver. For 50% of patients, fibrosis and liver enzymes improved, and there was no progression of the disease. So let's go back over to this. The thing that stood out of me, let me pull up my robots in disguise, my transformer pointer. The biggest thing out of that statement, is there a word that stood out to you? There was one that stood out to me: inflammation. Because we've talked about this in my free encouragement group, which I'll link down in the description link below. Thousands of people are in that group. Don't join that group though if you're a stick in the mud. I only want fun people. Fun, nice people who are on a mission to change their lives. Is the inflammation component. We've talked about that so much in my free group, about how, for me and for so many other people, that my inflammation has changed so much. So much. I had an allergic reaction in my face. If you guys saw like a week or so ago, by the time this video comes out, my face was very puffy. It got huge. It looked like a pumpkin head. It's gone down basically. I still have a little bit of swelling, still just a little bit in my face, but it's much more manageable. But that was my face before. My face, when it was inflamed, like that literally was this face. Like that's how I lived every day on the left right here, this one. That was my before. With my allergic reaction, my face went back to that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was the inflammation I was living with on a daily basis. And now not having that for my joints, my overall health, my anxiety, it has made such a big difference, such a big difference. So this article goes on to talking about survodutide is a dual agonist drug, meaning there contains 2 agonists. Hormone mimics the bind with brain receptors to help with weight loss, while standard GLP-1 medications like Ozempic contain 1 agonist mimicking the hormone of the glycogen like peptide, a GLP-1. Survodutide is a Let me pull my guy back up. Survodutide is a GLP-1 agonist plus an agonist against glucagon, a hormone that helps to control blood sugar. From the mouse studies, his team believes that the dual agonist drug might better target fat in the liver, improving the effect of the standard GLP-1 medication. The new trial seemed to have confirmed it in people. These data demonstrate that direct liver targeting glucagon agonism is in addition to GLP-1 effects, helps to resolve non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and improve fibrosis while maintaining the benefits of GLP-1 agonism, Signal said in a university news release. Go VCU here in Virginia. These findings are remarkable and exciting and open a new chapter of drug development with MASH with fibrosis, where a single agent could potentially target the liver disease and related medical conditions that may help to provide hope for millions of people with MASH, with fibrosis, and multiple obesity-related ailments. Now, if you have not binge watched all my videos, I would encourage you to. I have over 350 plus GLP-1 focused videos. They're all, just click that like and subscribe button. You can start watching the playlist starting from the very beginning to now, over the last 17 full months of me being on a GLP-1 medication. And one of the things that I keep hitting on are all these studies coming out about GLP-1 medications. About recently, there was one on alcohol use disorder, basically with this, I don't want to say substance abuse with it, with alcoholism, but it's alcohol, over drinking with alcohol. About how there was a big study coming out about how it's helping with that, with alcohol use disorder. Again, I'm not a healthcare provider, so I don't know the difference between alcohol use disorder and alcoholism, but nonetheless, fascinating. Also with kidney-related disease. Now we have fatty liver-related disease in the liver. Then we also have sleep apnea. We also have, which is still in clinical trials with Eli Lilly, but that's going to probably get approved in my humble opinion. That's still in clinical trials. And then FDA approved was WEGOVY. So we go back over to our semaglutide. That got approved, FDA approval for reduction of heart disease, or reduction of cardiovascular events, of reduction of strokes by 20%, reduction of strokes, heart attacks, and other like heart issues. 20%. Like that's amazing, 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 amazing. So we're seeing all of these byproducts of GLP-1 medication, which again, it clocks. Having obesity relates to all these comorbidities, and not having obesity now, I'm technically just overweight, but still on my race to a 100-pound weight loss journey, still how it permeates to everything of health. And for me also, with my sleep, one of my biggest things, if you're having sleep issues, I highly recommend trying Bioptimizer's magnesium. For me, it helped with sleep, anxiety, and also the side effect of GLP-1 medications is constipation. So helpful. I've got a discount code. I'll link that in the description link below. I'm not sponsored by Bioptimizers in this video. I just love their products. They've got a ton of other products too that I'm obsessed with. I love them. Someone in our free group was recently asking about specifically prebiotics and probiotics. I will also link theirs down in the description link below, along with that discount code QUEEN. Most of my codes are QUEEN, by the way, for discount codes. So that article, I will, as always, cite my source. That will be linked down below. The two that I'll link are the Health Day article that I just referenced, and also that New England Journal of Medicine, that June 4th original article as well. Stop. Sorry, that's my alarm to go pick up my son from his play date that he's at right now, which is how I'm able to film this video. I do want to make sure, if you guys have not, we've been talking also about LMNT electrolytes. They have that 8 free sticks with any drink mix purchase. I'll link that down below. And you guys have been asking me a ton in the free group about my skincare regimen. I'll link I have switched over because of Ozempic face to a prescription skincare, which is ZO. And if you're interested in getting prescription skincare, I'll link my doctor who I get it through down below. She's amazing. She's brilliant. Board certified anesthesiologist and owns one of the country's leading medical spas. You can do online skincare with them. But if you're an Amazon girly or gentleman, I have my Amazon beauty list that I'll link down below too. Like my SPF powder that I use, like certain things that I just get from Amazon. I'll link that down below because people have been asking me about my skin and face changes. I do think it's not a fair statement to say that I have had lasers done on my face, Botox, and I had what's called an 8-point filler. I don't know what that is, but it helped to with so I always like people to know, like, I feel like it's not fair to be like, oh, your face changed so much. I'm like, yeah, but I've had help with it's not all weight loss. Like, let's keep it real here. This is not all weight loss with my face. I've definitely have had a medical spa walking me through this process too. Here in rural Virginia, there's an amazing, it's near Northern Virginia. It's just over the mountain and it's significantly cheaper than Northern Virginia pricing. People actually come over from Maryland and all over to go to this medical spa. Some people fly in because the prices are so like dramatic to like DC pricing, but you get way higher level of service. Anyways, I digress. That's not, and then the loose skin component. Many of you also in the free group, which join that free group, by the way. Take advantage of all my free resources, including my free dietitian created meal plan. I bought it from a dietitian for our community for you for $500 to give to you for free. So it's on countessofshopping.com, but also linked down below. But for the loose skin, I have been using a couple of different products. A scrub that's linked on my ZEPBOUND Amazon shopping list. And then also I have 2 separate loose skin creams. Guys, you're not getting rid of loose skin unless you have surgery. However, the confidence boosting that not having loose skin, like just having smoother skin, it's not going to change it, but it helps to smooth it for me. That has made a big difference in my confidence. Going to the pool, I'm still a little bit nervous about that. This will be my 2nd summer on a GLP-1 medication, so my body definitely has changed. And so I do have some great cover-ups that I did put on that Amazon shopping list, but definitely has helped with my confidence, but has not gotten rid of it. So let's just, again, I always want to be completely upfront and authentic with y'all too, of like, my body's changes as we kind of walk through this process as well. I felt like there was something else I had to tell you guys too. Let me go back over to my notes. I'll link everything down in the description link below, but this study is exciting. Let's go back to the task at hand here is that these medications, they've changed my life. And I know they're changing millions of other people's lives too. And we from England and other places where these many, I just saw Scotland just got approved for Mounjaro for weight loss. How it's going globally. And so if you're new here, welcome, join my free group. I'm really glad to have you here. And we do a couple things here at Countess of Shopping. One is your accountability question. What are you doing today to move you closer to your goal? If you don't feel like typing it out in the comments, just pause for a second and think about that. And then 2, our emoji of the day is going to be pots and pans. It's going to be pots and pans. And then that's kind of like our bat signal, our Batman signal that you've made it this far in the video. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to get to know you better because I care. The pattern recognition of seeing people's names pop up over and over again in the comments helps me to get to know you better because I care. There's one of me, but there's thousands of you. And so that's a way that I can get to know you better. And then 2, the byproduct of that is I will also pray over you. Don't worry if you don't believe in prayer, I will uplift you in positive thought as an additional source of encouragement and a positive community. That to me is really, really important. And my free encouragement group is a positive community. Do not join that community though if you're a stick in the mud. And if you've been on the waiting list for that, by the way, for more than 4 days, email me. That means either you got caught in spam, or like your account's flagged as spam. And usually that means you didn't answer the questions or your account's less than 5 years old. It's not that I'm like some people take it so personally. I'm like, it's not personal. It means you probably, or if I declined you, you probably didn't answer the main reason I decline people is they don't answer the questions. So everyone has to answer the questions. It helps to keep out that spam. There's commonalities of these unfortunate spammers. But in that private group, that's like my safe space. I am a mama bear when it comes to that group of keeping it really positive. So sweet friends, that is our breaking news today. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Go binge watch the other videos. If you've missed an episode, go listen to them while you're working out or while you're doing your chores or while you're commuting. And share this video with your bestie too if they've just started or are on a GLP-1 medication. Sweet friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. Love y'all. See you soon. Bye.